Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Legend of the Sea Devils panel. Yes, it's going to be a very interesting night tonight, and let's see what everybody has to say about tonight's episode. Obviously, if you watch along, I give them my opinions on it. Let me know if we're okay, because I seem to be jumping quite a lot here all of a sudden. Yeah. So if you can hear me properly, let me know, because now I'm having problems now all of a sudden. Before we come on, Real Super Doctor was having yeah, it's not moving for me. It won't go into the comments. I might have froze. Right. Let me know if you can hear me anyway. Before we do get started there. Yeah, everything is running very slow here. I don't know what's going on here. I might have to disconnect my camera, and I didn't really want to disconnect my camera, but there's something going on. Start going funny in the intro. Lee says it sounds fine to me. Okay, right. We'll. Okay, you're saying you can hear me normally. Right, fair enough. We got 51 people, 52 people watching right now at the moment. We know why most of these are watching, because you are very interested to see what the panel has to say. So then you can go and attack us all on Twitter and call us all every name under the sun, like you always do every time we do panels here. But welcome everybody anyway. And if you want to see what I had to say about the episode, go and watch my last stream. But in this one, we will have guests, a panel, and they will be discussing what they thought of the episode. So let's bring our guests on. Without further ado, we've got the one and only Queen Charlotte.
Hello, everybody. Hello, can you hear me?
I can. As I said, it's running a bit slow, so just bear with me until I get you all on. I don't know what's happened. I'm starting to have problems here now. It's ridiculous. Anyway, let's move on and bring on our next guest. It's the one and only Problem Big. The sound is crackling, says Jamie.
Well, it definitely is after what Lee just did.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had to get it out. It's better out.
Anyway, let's move on and bring on the next guest. It's the one and only PD Rich.
Hey, guess what? She got cock blocked.
And our next guest, the one and only Real Super Doctor.
Hello.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Okay, so obviously we've had time to relax a bit after tonight's episode. So we'll start with ladies first. And if you could do me a favor, guys, as well, wait until the person that's talking is finished talking, and then if you want to add something to what they've said, just let me know, and I'll give you the opportunity to say what you have to say in response to the person that's made the comment or the opinion that you want to add to. Okay, I don't want anybody talking over anybody on this stream, and if I do it myself, you can call me out for it. Okay, so I'm being real strict here because I want to hear everybody tonight. It is the second last episode of this era. So ladies first, Charlotte, Legend of the Sea Devils, what are your initial thoughts?
There was some good bits in this. I agree with Noel in the fact that it's not the worst, and if I were to describe it honestly, I'd say this is a middling episode. And so I'll say what the bits that I thought actually worked. Some of the shots, it was a bit varied, but some of the shots, like the Tardis underneath the water, was quite good. When you first saw the ghost ship thing, was quite good. And I liked some of the sets. I actually thought some of the ship sets were quite. You could tell they were made quite well, and they actually suited the setting. Some of the music, actually, we got a bit of variation from
Yes.
with obviously the bits of Oriental inspired music, which I actually quite thought was a nice change to not just have the same sort of music we've heard for the last 2-3 series. But I've sort of got a caveat to a few of these things, but I'll get my positives. I actually found the male pirate actually quite interesting and well acted and written in bits. And actually another sort of backgroundy character I thought was quite well written was the son whose father got killed at the beginning. You actually saw him sort of become from a coward a bit to somebody who's got a bit more a thirst for wanting to like have adventure, which was nice. But sort of the caveat on some of those things I just said was, yes, like I said, the music was a good variation, but it sort of got repetitive near the end because when you realise the bits of Oriental stuff they had, it was sort of 2 bits of music they kept repeating again. And I do think some of the CGI, it felt like they were repeating some of those shots a lot. So it felt like this sort of wow factor you might have had when you first saw it just disappeared by the end because it felt like they kept using the same shot. But like as I said, this was a middling episode, so there were plenty of things I didn't like. One was the Doctor basically just leaving Dan, like because he wandered off was the most of the excuse we got off her. Like Yaz is like, oh, Dan's gone, and the Doctor's just like, oh, he'll be all right. And it's like, well, no, Doctor, he could have died. So you once again, you're just no regard for your companion, just no care whatsoever, which is typical of this Doctor. But every time I see it, I'm still a bit like, that's not a Doctor thing to do. The pace I thought was really bad. Like the first 30 minutes, and this wasn't even a longer episode, it felt like it really was going slow, that first 30 minutes. And that they were really, there was no sense of urgency. There was no sense of like going forward. So it just felt like you were almost waiting for the action to happen. And then when it did, it was quite short. So it didn't really have the effect it should have, like the sword fight. I like it was an all right sword fight, but I agree with what Noel said when we were chatting backstage. It should have been longer for it to actually have more of a bite to it. And sort of the Doctor just sort of tried to sword fight and it sort of just looked pathetic. The Thasmin stuff was easily the weakest stuff because Jodie's suddenly coming out with how amazing Yaz is and how if she was going to be on a date with anybody, it'd be her. Even when she name dropped River, and it almost sounded to me like she was saying Yaz was better than River when she talked about her wife to her. And I was just like, I'm sorry, none of this rings true because you've shown nothing to me but sort of friendship level vibes with Yaz. Nothing at all. So now for the Doctor this episode to suddenly be spouting off all this, wanting to go on a date with her, you're amazing, you're the bestest, like really praising Yaz, it just felt like it came out of nowhere. And the dialogue is set from some of the stuff right at the end just felt childish. It just felt really banal. Like compare that to obviously what, because they're ripping off the whole Tennant and Rose thing, so it made me think of that. And you compare even some of by the end when I was getting a bit fed up of that in Russell's run, the dialogue was so much more better with Russell and Tennant Rose. It felt charged. It felt like there was something there, and here it just felt, like I said, banal. I actually found the actress for Madam Ching really flat. like, I really didn't care for her whatsoever. Like, even when they tried to do the whole thing with her kids, I just felt the actress was really bad. Like I said, especially compared to her male counterpart in the episode, who I thought actually acted really well in bits. The Sea Devils, they had a really good design. I'm not taking that away. But for me, physically, like the talking and the actually physically being in the episode aspect, they just didn't work as a villain. I mean, as a creature in the episode. And I think and I worked it out, it was the fact that the main sort of, like I said, I can't remember the name of him, because to be fair, the Sea Devils, it's the Legend of the Sea Devils, but they didn't really have a lot to do with the plot. They were sort of like Chibnall does now in some of his villains. They were side almost to the plot. So I can't even remember the leader's name. But for like when he first started talking, his lips weren't moving, but the eyes were, and like the head was moving. And I was just like, that something in my brain doesn't ring right, because you've got motion in some bits of him, but the mouth's like almost, it looked like it was glued shut. And then it moved a bit near the end. So just as a physical creature, I don't think they actually worked that well, the Sea Devils. And obviously I didn't grow up with them from Classic, but they did come across incredibly bloodthirsty almost in this story, which I don't know if that quite works with the Sea Devils, like to be this nasty in points of this episode, and to sort of be this sort of, like I said, nasty and ruthless. I just don't know if that quite meshes with the Sea Devils as a race. But then I suppose the excuse is going to be, well, this is them earlier on in their timeline. But yeah, and what else? Oh, and the ending. Even though it's good that Jodie's doctors finally sort of said no, but that, for me, that's not how you end your episode. It sort of made it go completely down, all the tension and all the stakes and everything. It just said them sat on that beach having this conversation. It just really made it just feel like it ended on almost like a sigh, the episode. So yeah, those are sort of, and I'll give my point. Do you want to give my score now or near the end?
No, you can give your score near the end, because you might need, as everybody else is talking, you might want to add something. But I want to add something to just what you've said there, if you don't mind, because I think you make a very valid point. For me, how this episode should have ended, right? Like every special ends.
Should have been a teaser. It should have led into the next one.
There should have been a cliffhanger at the end. Not all of this nonsense between those two. You're right. Yeah,
it sort of took all the air, didn't it, out of the episode?
Yeah.
And like I said, you can maybe, Russell sometimes would do something that it wouldn't be a cliffhanger or it wouldn't be a big action thing, but the dialogue would be really well written between the characters, so it would work. But with Jodie and Yaz, even though I did, like I said, I'm happy in the fact that the Doctor's not saying, "Oh, of course we can be together," because that can't happen. Like the Doctor, at least what I said in Eve is what she should have done, which was to say, "No, we can't have this." And it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't terrible dialogue. It just did nothing for me. I think that's the problem. The fact that now in this episode they actually are concentrating a bit on the Phasmin thing, it's now fully shown to me that this is an incredibly hollow story and there's nothing there to hold it up, really. So when you do concentrate on it, when you do purely isolate Jodie and Manip, it really exposes them.
Yeah. Also, on the Sea Devils, where you said that, they didn't really need to be part of this story. Well, we did get the Chris Chibnall interview, if you remember, where he said that he just decided to stick the Sea Devils in. So I'll ask you guys in the chat. Obviously, he said that. Did they feel like they were shoehorned in? Did he actually do a good job with them, folks, in the chat? What would you, before I go on to Lee next, Charlotte? What do you think? Do you think? I know you've said that you could really take them out of the story, but did they feel shoehorned into the story?
Yeah, I think you could have just had the actual Chinese pirates still. You could have had the treasure theme, and you could have just had any other aquatic-based villain.
Mm.
Even like Jodie points out, like, why have you got a ship? And even it's like, yeah, why have they got a ship? Like I said, I think he didn't like damage the lore of them any, but I think he's sort of just done nothing with them by bringing them back.
Sorry, you're just saying, could you just, some people in the chat, yeah, some of you are comments are not coming through because you are using colourful language. If you could do us a favour and keep the bad language out of the chat. If you want to express yourself using alternative words, if you don't
Yeah,
mind.
YouTube doesn't like it, folks.
Okay, it's just YouTube. It's not me. You know me on this stream. I don't really care, but we've got to follow. So if you could keep user bad language to yourselves, that would be absolutely fantastic. Charlotte, have you anything else to add now before I go on to Lee?
No, I think I've said everything, and like I said, if I might see what the lads say, and now we might add a bit more, but that's me.
Okay, fantastic, and we will get your rating at the end. But without further ado, I will ask the same question to Lee. So Lee, obviously, Sea Devils tonight. What are your initial thoughts, my pal? I can't talk properly, man. What's going on with me? It must be the dumbness of the episode. Go on. Anyway.
And it was dumb. Yeah, Legend of the Mystery Box MacGuffin with the Sea Devils, which had more promise and was delivered. They just looked googly-eyed animatronics. So I was really distracted by watching the movements and the eyes wiggling about and the mouth wiggling about, and then the little flashing light like an ood, you know, sort of just doing the talkie. I don't know where to begin. There is absolutely no saving grace to this story whatsoever. I just think I was so bored and incredulous. And when I wasn't bored, I was either sort of rolling my eyes like a bloody sea devil or cursing at the TV screen. Poor TV must have been covered by spit from like 900 yards. I mean, it's ridiculous. You know, we start off with the statue and the pirate woman pirate, Madam Ching, as they call her, which is the westernized name. And yeah, that looked fucking stupid. Like, this statue's been standing there for how long, and then she turns up and then starts digging away at this statue, and she gets that guy killed, and then later on the kid's like, oh, she's my best mate now. I was like, I mean, really? God. Yeah, and then that happens, and a sea devil comes out and slays everyone, you know, with a lightsaber for some reason. And then the doctor turns up with the Plank and the other Plank, who's dressed like a complete twat. And they make a joke out of him because that's what he's there for. And yeah, and stuff happens. Like, she hears a bunch of screaming, so she goes and investigates, and then she turns up and there's lots of people dead on the floor, and there's a sea devil. Oh, look, it's a sea devil. No build up, fuck all, nothing. Just, oh, look, there's a sea devil. Oh. Then obviously, you know, the sea devil slayed everyone apart from obviously the super important queen pirate for some reason. Who's got a MacGuffin thingy, which led her to the statue thing, which leads to another MacGuffin later on, which we don't discover until at the end, which is just fucking stupid. Anyway, so that happens, and then like yeah, the ship appears, and the sea monster thing happens, and the guy in a boat sees a wave that comes towards him really ominously and then somehow disappears. And he's just sitting there in the boat with this giant wave that's just vanished out of thin air. It's just the direction on this is appalling. Really clumsy. Anyway, so stuff happened and things happened. Then, like, the Doctor and Yaz fuck off to the past to find out where this ship is with this treasure that they've heard about, and leaving Dan on his own because he's fucked off and she doesn't give a shit because he's a bloke. So he's fucked off with the lad to go swim into the ship, and she goes off to the past with Yaz. And the only decent scene in the fucking thing, the whole thing, was the bit with the TARDIS underwater. I like that. That was nice.
That was nice.
That was very pretty. The only saving grace, I guess, from this entire travesty.
They're
Anyway.
my favourite two scenes in this episode. The TARDIS with the ocean sunk the floor.
I like Jamie Knight in the chat. His comment: "A floating ship, impossible."
Anyway, go ahead, mate. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, how many times did we hear? Oh, that's impossible. I think 3 times. So clearly, if it's happened 3 times, it's not that fucking impossible. Anyway.
Well, after the first time, it's
all right. Then Dan and the lad are on the ship and there's no one there, and then Pirate Queen somehow manages to take 2 fully grown men, get them somehow tied up and hanging from a rope each. Like, how? She's like 80 pounds if that, and like 4'8". And she's got 2 grown men strung up by their boots.
But in fairness, can I just say this? She is a pirate queen. So
I don't care if she's a pirate god. You know, like she is like wafer thin.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen more muscles in a fucking seafood noodle. You know, like, no. Anyway, so that happens, and then stuff happens, and things happen, and then, like, I don't know, they go back. Yeah, Yaz and the I can't say the cosplay woman are in like the ocean, and then like the ground goes from beneath them, and then the treasures or the ship is sunk, and they don't know what's happening. No explanation. Then a sea monster comes and drags the TARDIS down into the whatever, and the consequences of that is absolutely nothing. Like, you know, it's just done. Why not? I suppose. Then what happens? Then, like, yeah, they find out, well, that's where the ship is, and they can go back there in the future. So they go back to the future, and everything's fine. And then stuff happens I can't remember because I was half asleep. Yeah, and then like somehow like the Doctor's just there with Yaz and trying to intimidate the sea monster, the sea devils. Sea devils just like letting her run around. Like, they're full of fucking sea devils on this ship, and she's just running about like, you know, unopposed. And he's letting her she's mouthing off, and they're letting her do that. And I just think, would you do that? You know, you don't invite someone into your house, you know, that start mouthing off. You wouldn't put up with that, would you? So yeah, and that's another thing. Later on, she ends up just walking back into the ship and just why hasn't he killed her? I don't understand. And then we get this shit with Yaz, and then, oh, you're the best person ever. Like, I'm sick to fucking death of hearing how wonderful Yaz is. She's the best singer. She's not. She's fucking tedious. So yeah, we had all the queer baiting, and obviously nothing happened. And like, there we go. We told you so. Stuff happened. Sword fight. Like, you know, you want to see the Doctor do a sword fight, go and watch Pertwee and the Master. You know, like Delgado.
David Tennant did one as well. Remember?
David Tennant, yeah. And she can't even. She dropped the sword like 2 or 3 bloody times, and then she used the Sonic on the Sea Devil sword. It just glowed orange and fell out of his hand somehow. I don't know.
In defense of her, though, can I just say, maybe she was. They probably disguised her bump, but I think she may have been pregnant.
That might be why she was wearing that loose fitting.
Yeah.
Thing,
so I mean, Look, yeah, it wasn't. Look, they even said that they didn't train for it. It was just choreographed on the day.
Yeah, it showed.
shows.
It
Yeah.
showed. And that whole it's not just the choreography, which was incredibly cringe and clunky, but the actual camera work and I can see what she was trying to do with the action scenes, with the direction and the editing and everything. It just didn't work. It just looked so slapdash, half-assed. And like, you know, I get there was COVID restrictions at the time and whatnot, and you know that's why half the crew's not there and whatever. So they had to write that in somehow, unconvincingly. And it just looked awful. Really bad direction in this. And that's what happens when you hire a director based on the contents of their knickers rather than their talent. You know, someone happened to marry someone rich, you know, she comes from a banking background or whatever, and then she just walked into this job, no experience. She just gets it handed to her on a plate. And this is what happens. I'm sorry, that's not how you do it. You know, this bollocks. Stop doing it. And it was flat. The whole thing was flat. The music was fucking dreadful. Like, it just did not fit what was going on. It sounded like library music, you know, like that stuff, you know, you'd find from, you know, for YouTube channel to slap on for something, you know. It just sounded so generic and boring. And, you know, you're thinking like that action sequence, you know, something bombastic, and it was it's just rubbish. And the whole thing was like when Yaz said, "Oh, you're such a child" or something. You're like, yeah, you're like a child sometimes. So only sometimes. It's like you think about back to when Tom Baker said, you know, what's the point of being grown up if you can't be childish sometimes? You know, something witty, well written, a great line. No. Oh, only sometimes. Fucking shite. Anyway, so stuff happened, and then like the Sea Devils thing, like control room, looked like it was made out of something from a head shop. You know, those bubbly things that you can buy for like $5 on Wish or something. And it just looked cheap and naff. And then like after the fight, yeah, so the bunch of Sea Devils got killed. Like, oh yeah, so the lad kills the main Sea Devil off like unceremoniously, so that was pointless. And then later on, and then gets lectured by lectured by you didn't have to kill him. And then later on, Daz kills a whole bunch of Sea Devils in one fucking. Oh yeah, suddenly they're all master fucking swordsmiths. You know, like Yaz somehow knows how to use a sword. Yeah, right. And Dan just kills a bunch of Sea Devils at the end. No lecture there. It's funny, like he did the same thing with the Centaurans. Like she lectured that guy for killing all those Centaurans, and then Dan does the same fucking thing, and then he gets plaudits. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe it's because he's an ally. Yeah. So yeah, and then like there's a MacGuffin thing, and the captain from the old ship is being held in some sort of stasis thing for however long, like 100 years or whatever it is. And then, of course, he comes in at the end and sacrifices himself, just like the fucking timeless child. So the Doc's about to sacrifice himself. Oh, no, she's not going to. She's going to run away like a coward duck. And he's going to come in and, you know, oh, I've got nothing to live for anyway. I'm just a bloke. So then he dies, and then everything dies, and it's all good. And then, like, at the end, the lad whose father was killed by the Queen Pirate's stupidity is now best friends, so like, you know, and she's still telling him don't touch me or whatever. And then Yaz talking about feelings with the Doctor at the end, and it's just like sat on the beach, and it's like, and Dan knowing it's sort of, and it's just fucking stupid. And you know, for all those Tasman stands out there, hope you're happy.
I don't think they will be.
I don't care. I'm absolutely fucking thrilled that, you know, this. Well, I mean, let's see. There's obviously in the trailer for the upcoming shitstone finale, which I cheered at the last bit when I saw a regenerate. Yes, fucking yes! I was like that, so I was quite happy. But
You've just disturbed me, dog.
I'm sorry, dog. You said you couldn't hear me earlier. I thought
Well,
you
he
could.
can now.
Well, there you are. And yeah, so I don't know. The last thing she seemed to say before she's about to burst into flames is yes. So who knows? Who knows? Maybe there will be some snog or something to make them bloody happy. Who cares?
Well, we'll talk a little bit more about that little teaser at the end of the episode for the next special. In fairness, this episode should have ended with a cliffhanger, but it didn't end.
I still don't understand what the orange MacGuffin thingy was. It was like, oh, some of their ancient technology or something. And another thing as well, if they're Sea Devils from the past, and so the third Doctor met them in the future, and the fifth Doctor met them in the future, why don't they remember who the Doctor is in the Sea Devils or in
this one?
No, the one from the fifth Doctor.
I think what Lee's saying is if this was if they met Jodie now, then they would have already known the Doctor by the time the classic episodes would have happened.
Yeah. Well, anyway, he never explains those things. That's Chibi's for you. Is there anything else, Lee, you want to add before I bring on the next panelist to get their opinions? Are you done? Obviously,
sorry, I was on mute there. I don't know why that happened. Yeah, all I really need to say is just hurry up and die.
Yeah, regenerate, you mean?
Yeah, no, die,
Okay.
painfully, and then regenerate into something useful.
Right. Well, let's bring on there next. We'll get Lee's rating at the
Warriors
end.
of the Deep, thank you.
We'll get Lee's rating at the end. Obviously, like, you know, once everybody gets to say what they say, there might be something that someone on the panel said that one of you guys would like to pick up on, which will be fantastic. So we'll go with Real Super Doctor next.
Yeah, I'll only get into this when she's really going. I mean, when there's another cast. I mean, so this episode, it was a complete and utter mess of ideas getting all put together. And kind of, it's like the average Chibnall episode when he's got all these ideas and he wants to put them all together, but he can't put them all together coherently. We have the setting for the Chinese pirates and all that is quite good actually in the beginning and all that, and then until you saw that statue and I thought, oh my god, that statue looks absolutely crap. I mean, the effects around it as well and the cracking around it as well, it just wasn't convincing, and some of the acting was pretty flat, and I thought to myself, oh, this is going to start off, this is going to be another boring episode.
No Merker.
Yeah, I was quite disappointed with that, but I think the marker was more or less something to do with the Silurians as well. But I liked a bit of the special effects, but the special effects began to fail in some areas, especially with the Sea Devils. You could see that the Sea Devils were actually not individual Sea Devils. They were kind of CGI kind of clones in the background, like the Daleks and that, and in some episodes and that, and it just, to me, visually it looked good, but the acting was pretty bad from Jodie again. It was more or less all of her cockiness and just with the romance kind of thing, and it wasn't kind of handled properly. Like David Tennant in School Reunion, how he kind of explained how because he was a Time Lord, and how that his relationship with humans is that because that the humans would wither and die, and he would go on regenerating sort of thing. There was nothing in it like that. It was just pure vomit inducing garbage, I think. I just thought it was like a kind of bit of a, just like a kind of cosplay pantomime as well, and amongst it. kind of pantomime acting from John Bishop, Jodie Whittaker, and Mandip Gill. The sword fights were pretty good in some ways. It began to pick up, but the music simply just did not go with that. It just uh, it's I just don't know. It's just for me. The Sea Devils being in that episode seemed a bit kind of pointless. I mean, why did they want to have this kind of idea that they wanted chaos throughout the universe? I mean, the Sea Devils aren't like that. I mean, the Sea Devils want the planet for themselves because that's their planet. They've no scope outside the planet. The Sea Devils, the same with the Silurians as well. I thought that was quite odd and alienating because, especially when you come into the Pertwee era, you see that the Sea Devils have got a kind of base underneath, and basically that they're just bringing down ships and all that, and attacking submarines and all that, and appearing fierce and all that, and with it's like stun guns. And here the Sea Devils had these kind of it was like kind of lightsaber swords and that, and they were quick at jumping and that, and I thought, nah, that completely is not the Sea Devils.
We needed their voice. We are the Sea Devils.
Yeah, the creepy voice as well, and you know how the 70s could actually do something like that. They just felt very generic monster from current New Who. They looked a bit kind of rubbery. I didn't like it at all. I just didn't like the episode at all, especially with the Thasman bit in it, and Jodie Whittaker being all cocky and all that, and know it all and all that, and not trying to be like the Doctor. It's all the kind of put on David Tennant stuff and Matt Smith stuff. And when the TARDIS materialized on the beach and that, and she got out the TARDIS, and then the earrings started to pull away from her. I mean, I thought that was a bit stupid. It was just complete daftness. I really could not get into this episode at all because of Jodie Whittaker and her poor acting. She doesn't really suit the role of the Doctor and that. And to me, this is not Doctor Who at all. It's just far from what it really is. A family show. It's just not Doctor Who. But the trailer, I really wasn't expecting Janet Fielding to come back and Sophie Aldred to come back, and I thought I was quite excited for that. It was just like, Chibnall could actually bring back the Sea Devils and all that, and we get a wee glimpse of that, or it could bring back past companions, but it can never live up to its expectations. No, it's just not Doctor Who for me. It's completely boring. It's completely flat. I can't get into this. This isn't Doctor Who for me.
Okay, John. We'll ask PD Rich what his thoughts and feelings were on this episode.
Yes, I've got a bit of a list. I'll try and bring it up on my screen. Yeah, okay. It's about halfway through the episode I realised this.
I thought he was going to say halfway down your arm,
Yeah, I got a bit of a list for this one. When she was talking, the Doctor was talking to the Sea Devil, she started acting like Christopher Eccleston, for God's sake. It's like, no, don't do a Christopher Eccleston impression. Do something different. Literally going around acting like, using all the same kind of connotations everything. Christopher Eccleston.
Oh yeah, and the whole "do Romano." I was like, "You shut up! You
exactly.
shut up!"
She started just copying other Doctors throughout this whole episode. It's like, what are you doing? So you've had 3 years to create your bloody Doctor, and now you're just stealing from the last New Who Doctors. It's like, what are you doing? So that really put my back up. And as I said, unknown sea monster which swims through the air and grabs the TARDIS while it's underwater. That's supposed to be a force field they're on. It's like it's swimming through the air. It's like, That made no sense. That whole bit, that whole underwater bit. It's a lovely scene. What good CGI, apart from the TARDIS point of view, where it wouldn't look like that. If there was a force field there. It would look like a bit like looking into a mirror, but a transparent mirror. It's like the whole thing with that whole bit was just pointless. And if they if they went back in time, went forward in time again, wouldn't they be floating on? Wouldn't the TARDIS be hobbling around the surface?
Can you remind me, like, what happened after the sea monster grabbed the TARDIS and pulled it down? What happened? Like, they just was that addressed? I can't even remember.
They got taken to the Sea Devils underwater base, which I just about made out. It's like,
oh right, because I thought that was in the ship.
heck?
Oh yeah, it was underneath the water. Yeah, see,
it was supposed to be under a force field, but well, how could the monster grab them if there's a force field there? Because it'd be technically swimming through air. It just made no sense. And as I said, the completely unknown sea monster. It wasn't the Merca, wasn't anything. It wasn't even explained. It was just a random monster working for the Sea Devils. It's like, what? I just found the whole episode generally was extremely flat. It had no sense of peril if the Doctor failed. As I think Charlotte said, the Sea Devils just appeared. It's like, why? No build up to them, no payoff, no.
As nice as the green mist was, what was the point of the green mist? Is that teleport thing, or I don't know.
PD, it was just like, here's your villain, children.
Yay! Here's your monster of the week.
Yeah.
Enjoy. Exactly. It's like, why? And get back to what Problem B was saying. Dan just goes around killing sea devils, just mows them down in front of the
with one swipe.
Two hits. Yeah.
All of them dead. And
are they just like zombies?
But like the lad does that. He kills the main dude. Right. He's killed his parents.
There was no payoff to that.
He killed his dad. I think he had every right to kill him. Oh, you can't kill him. He didn't have to kill him. And then Dan killed a whole bunch of them. Not a word.
Yeah. But also remember at the end of Flux, it was okay for her to kill 3 whole races, but one fella kills a sea devil.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Sea Devil's MO was completely lame. Oh, we're going to flood the Earth and make it like a Sea Devil planet. It's like, that wouldn't work. We've all been through this water world thing. Like, it wouldn't work.
Where's the water going to come from?
Exactly. It's like, why? Why are you even doing that? That makes no sense. If you're going to crash a giant ice asteroid into it, that would make sense. This didn't.
Right. So an hour in since the trailers have released this teaser, and as you can see, it's pretty pathetic.
Okay.
The views. So for the one that's on the Doctor Who official site, it's got 5,000 views in an hour. On the BBC official site, it has 6,900 views after an hour. Just goes to show you. I mean, if that was a Moffat or an RTD trailer, we'd be already in 100,000 by now or something.
Especially as they're blatantly teasing the regeneration with that picture.
Exactly, that's what I mean. I haven't seen the reaction on Twitter yet. I haven't seen the reaction. Or someone's just come in and said stupid stream. Well, if you don't like what we have to say, you don't have to be here. The fact that you're here to make a stupid little comment like that just shows me how pathetic you are. If you don't like what we have to say, jog on and listen to someone that you actually do like what they have to say. But everybody on this panel has their own opinions and has their own views on the episode. And if those views and opinions, if those views and opinions somehow upset you or outrage you, I suggest you don't let the door hit you on the way out. Bye. Anyway.
I just want to say, look, we're not going to compromise and blow smoke up Chibnall's ass. If it's shit, it's shit. What more do you want?
Exactly.
And by the way, my opinion on this episode is in the last stream, okay? And I actually like some elements of it. So it just goes to show you, as I said, everybody has different...
when I started.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody has different opinions on the panel, right? Some are more extreme than others, but that's why it's good, because we're getting those opinions. But let's get back to it anyway. PD, you were...
Yeah, okay.
Go ahead, mate, and finish up there.
Madam Ching was the only one with a Chinese accent. I'm like, everyone else speaking like South London accents and the kind of posh, kind of theatrical accents. It's like, she's the only one who's actually Chinese. It just sounded a bit weird. I had better accents than Talon and Wing Tyann. Tell you that was the honest truth. It was like, what? Why are you speaking like you come from South London, mate? You're supposed to be in China. That didn't make any sense to me. It kind of pulled me out of the episode. The bit where I think the monster threw the cannonballs back at the Man Ching's boat.
Why did they explode?
Why did they explode? They're not bombs. They're not.
I know.
Bombs. Wouldn't it be better to throw them back through the boat and sink her vessel? But they just exploded in the air randomly. Fireworks. Yeah. As you were saying at the beginning, the sea devil's mouth thing, the way that they talked was just took me out of it. It's like why? It's like you try to be on member bearers. Oh, we're trying to fix canon from Pertwee's era. Don't fix canon from Pertwee's era because you don't understand it, Chibnall. Just leave it alone. Yeah. Yaz defending the criminal before finding out he was actually a double agent. She starts defending him. The guy stasis. She starts defending him. It's like, what? He's pretty much just turned the ship over to the Sea Devils. He's pretty much their agent until he finds. It's like she started defending him before she found out he was a double agent. It's like, do you know something we don't know, Yaz? Yeah. When they're down the kid was swimming onto the ship. It was all really bleak and dull at the beach. But the second they got on the ship, the sun comes out. It's like, what? I think I spotted some corrugated steel in the back of the hut. I don't know, that hasn't been invented yet. As the problem being said, the man sacrifices. A strong male character has to sacrifice himself for the Doctor again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Big Bad Baddie's death felt pointless after the kid killed the main bad guy. It just felt pointless. It's like, well, it's just not going anywhere.
It just kind of happened, you know.
It just happened. It was like almost, whoops, I just killed the big bad.
Yeah, it was a typical rush sort of resolution, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's just completely. Time the special was only about 45 minutes long. That's a special.
Well, special for me. That means I had to suffer less of it.
I know. I think they did us a favour there, though.
Yep.
That was the dullest Ford fight I have ever seen in anything. And I think Yaz was pushing Dan out the way and just putting these kind of stupid.
And when did she learn to use a sword? Not that she learned to use a sword.
She didn't use it properly. Yeah. There was hardly any crew on any of the ships. It was like the most minimalist episode of Doctor Who for extras.
Yeah.
It was like, where is everyone?
COVID restrictions, wasn't it?
Was like there should have been a virus in it. There should have just been a virus in the episode. That should have been it. What was I going to say? Madam Cheng doesn't get her crew returned to her in the end. It was the Tyrants were supposed to have prisoner. They just don't return, but she gets given the treasure by the Doctor. It's like, well, what was the point of that? And a time travel segment was almost pointless, as I said earlier. They end up hovering above it. And as I said.
What was it with like the cosplay Doctor just running about like she owned the bloody place, and then when she's about to be destroyed by the main Sea Devil leader guy thing, she just pulled the lever and knew exactly what was going to happen.
Exactly.
And then she was running about all over the bloody place, and not a single Sea Devil in sight to stop her.
Yeah, I mean, I put the Sea Devils like zombies in this one. I go, like zombies. As I said, I agree with Charlotte about the floating ship, and I completely agree with you about the kid. It's like, oh, I want to be Madam Ching's best friend. It's like she technically killed your old man.
Well, she got him killed. Yeah, I mean, oh god.
And I agree.
And then he's like,
the earrings.
He touched her, so he's like, "Don't touch me, or don't do that again." It's like, fuck off.
She just killed her fucking father.
Right
on. And I completely agree with Super Doctor about the earrings. I thought that was absolutely pointless.
Yeah, I did say that was stupid when I seen that.
They never went anywhere. It was just earrings catapulting off.
In the chat as well, Robert Payne there said about the physics, which is absolutely right. You know, he's got absolutely no understanding. Like, if there's a pole reversal on the planet, the stars don't, like, the Earth doesn't physically move in space. So it doesn't flip upside down. It's just the magnetic poles shift. It's like
backwards. Exactly.
And also
will not be flooded unless you put something on the world.
I thought this when I was watching it really quickly. Why would that affect the TARDIS flight?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Why would that? Wouldn't even do anything. From a promotional material I saw, Yaz was carrying a katana-like object in the promotion. It's like they don't have katanas. Yeah, and a sword that she was actually supposed to have, it wasn't invented until 10 years later. I'm like,
I would love to know, like, if the rumor is true, like that there was some scenes
100 years later.
Like,
It feels
look,
like it. It feels like
listen,
about half the
listen,
episode's been cut
They
out.
said the runtime episode was 50 minutes, but in
Yeah.
reality, it was only 45 minutes.
Yeah.
PD
Yeah, it
is
felt like that.
absolutely right. It was only 45
That's a
minutes.
normal episode. It was a
right?
normal episode.
So you're telling
It's shorter
me
than a
that
normal
this is the second last episode, and he's only going to do a 45-minute or 50-minute episode for that last episode.
And
No.
he said that all the episodes that he was going to do, because they were going to be
hour-long
stories,
specials.
were going
Yeah.
to be hour-long.
We're going to be
Oh,
hour-long.
and also, if you think about it, you have your second to last episode for 45 minutes, and you don't touch any of your canon nonsense.
Exactly.
Like we all also said, this is not going to touch any of the timeless
Yep.
child stuff.
Till the
So
last minute.
he's only got one more episode now.
Exactly.
Fix all of that.
Yes, yeah. And in the promotional material as well, so going back to what I was saying, Aragon's dagger seems to be in Madden Ching's hand. It's like, why you got a Lord of the Rings dagger? It's just, what? Props having a day off.
Don't you think the captain of the original ship that sunk, don't you think he's slightly overdressed as a sea captain?
Yeah, he looks like an official. He looks like a Chinese official. He's like,
Look
what?
like an emperor or something.
Yeah, and then he sacrifices himself and he's
much.
stunning and brave in the end when the Doctor runs off again, like what's his name? David Cameron did.
And you got those
David
cheap,
Cameron.
you got those cheap bubble tubes as well, which you see in those cheap electric shops. You know,
God, yes.
It's just like naff.
Yeah.
Like you can see that
Yeah.
they run out of money.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, what was your best bit? My best bit was Yaz getting proverbially cock blocked. That made me. I just pissed myself.
that was
It was a horrible scene, but like, just look at Yaz's face and just pissed myself
that
laughing.
was beautiful. That was
Oh,
beautiful.
she's doing a Highlander impression. Oh, I'm gonna outlive you, Yaz.
Well, it's when she was like, "I'm not a bad date, am I?" And they did that
Yeah.
awkward look at each. Oh God, I wanted to throw up my own mouth.
Oh
geez.
yeah, it's like which one of the two wives of the
But
Doctor are they
again,
talking about?
the character development for it is very poor.
Mm.
For Jodie Whittaker's Doctor to just blurt that out anyway, it's manufactured. And we know it's manufactured because Streven said that they had no idea about it until they were told about it. They forgot about it.
I don't know.
Then they remembered it again, forgot
Yeah.
about it again, and then decided to actually include it in Series 13. Now, there are fans out there that will make the claim that there's been 4 years of hints of this. I don't know where he's getting that from. Definitely not from Jodie Whittaker's Doctor.
I think there was some. I think there was
Twitter?
some. I think there was something in one of the scripts from Series 12 that mentioned something about it. I don't know. I haven't read the script. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to read the script.
Yeah, but the point is, even if it is, it's a line, Lee. Just like everything that he did tonight.
Well, exactly.
It was a piece of dialogue here, the piece of dialogue there.
Well,
right?
look at the foreboding, the foreshadowing of the timeless child. There's a bunch of toilet roll rags floating about in the air, going, "Beware the timeless." Beware the timeless child. Isn't it beware? To beware is like a warning of be scared of this thing. It's like, well, it's not really anything to be beware of. It's like, just bear in mind. It would have been better if they said, bear in mind the timeless child. Right?
Yeah.
Wink, wink, nod, nod. If they had, wink, wink, and nod, nods available to them, but they're just floating rags in space. So I like.
Yeah.
He's got no ability.
No.
To write forward thinking, like to put all the pieces in. It's just so fun. Like, oh, that'll do.
It's a bit like J.J. Abrams, really, isn't it? It's just like, just puts a load of bits together and hopes it floats,
I think J.J. Abrams is Chibnall's spirit animal.
Yeah, totally. yeah. But as I said, my last little bit I just want to add, and then I'm done, is the nice thing about this is this episode's instantly banned in China. Instantly.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, because they're very
their
strict.
rules,
You are right. You are right.
How dare you change Chinese history?
Well, it's got time travel in it as well, and that's part of it as well. If the film board in China, the film censorship board in China don't agree with it, and anything that has a time travel element, to a certain extent is. Now, there are a few exceptions, but most times.
Well, there you go. Like, I've said many times about the drawbacks of communism, but bless the communists for having that sense. Like,
give them this 1 point.
I'll give them that one. Like, communism works, guys. Man, they know to ban shit Doctor Who.
By the way, Lee is only messing because we got 87 people watching. I'm pretty sure some people there. We've already lost 3 people because of that comment. Anyway, he's joking, by the way. He doesn't
Yeah.
know.
But we'll give him that one little point.
Just want to make that clear.
Fuck
Right.
communism.
He's joking. Anyway, yeah, I mean, we've pretty much wrapped up what everybody feels about the episodes. So what I'll do is, because obviously before we get to everybody's ratings, if there's something that someone on the panel did say that you actually would like to add on to, please do. But I will say this, I do. Chibnall was already setting this up to fail when he did that interview, and we've been recently getting all of these articles. When he said he just decided to put the Sea Devils in to see what, that to me just signifies everything that's wrong with the Chris Chibnall.
Yeah.
There is no proper planning or thought. This relationship with the Doctor and Yaz, right? Whether I agree with it or not is beside the point, right? If I'm looking at this, right, and just looking at her from what Chibnall's trying to do from a relationship standpoint, I have to say it is absolutely dire. The character development and the story plot for this is absolutely weak. Right now, if the Tasman stands are happy, the fact that the Doctor did come out and basically tell Yaz that she does have feelings for her, and you can overlook the rest of the stuff. Well, I'm sorry, that to me is wrong. You are supposed to represent something and fight for something and believe in something, and this is something that you do believe in, even though I don't agree with it. But in fairness, kids, he's doing it. If you're going to do this relationship, he has to go in with full conviction, and he hasn't. He's pussyfoot around it.
The only reason I'd rewatch any of this is to try and locate the exact moment where Yaz's heart breaks.
Oh yeah, I'd watch it fall asleep.
I would put that on a loop.
Yeah, but even when the Doctor said to her, like, this will not work, she was still like, well, my nan says sometimes the courage, whatever that line was.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, Yaz, you're not getting it, love. You're really not getting it. She's trying to politely tell you it's not happening. And
exactly. This is not a meta crisis Doctor situation here.
No.
Right? You're not getting her, and that's the end of it. So you just have to come to terms with that. But
and
again,
she hasn't, and that's what I found annoying a little bit in Yaz's end at the end. I was like, well, why are you still hoping here? Because it's like, no, it's not gonna happen. She's telling you to your face now. Like last episode, she didn't. So it was like, okay, then Yaz still is in the illusion it's going to happen. But she told her. And she even said, let's be in the present, which, if you've watched anything to do with relationships in any television for the last 50 plus years, that means no. That means it's not happening as a proper long-term thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Can someone in the chat who's got a Twitter account, unlike me, if you can go on Twitter and just kind of see what is being said there, that would be hilarious. Like, I just want to, I just want to know what the what that side of the fandom is saying to one another at the moment. I just need a smirk on my face.
Yeah,
See, I mean, this is how fickle Doctor Who fans are now, right? Listen, I'm a critic of Chibnall, but this trailer looks the ball up. That word. Tegan and Ace are back. Listen, that's all he has to do. Even for the Tazzies, right?
Trick.
He gives them, right?
Yeah.
He gives them a little bit of baiting here and there with the Tazzies, right? And he does the same with us Doctor Who fans. That's why we got the Sea Devils. There was no proper thought. He shoehorned the Sea Devils in because he knew fans like us who are fans of the Sea Devils would probably watch, and that's exactly what happened. All he's doing is dropping member berries, right? And he's baiting these poor Tassie fans who think that this relationship between the Doctor and the Yaz is actually going to develop into something. But yeah, they don't realize that there's one story to go. She's told her tonight now. Basically, this can't happen because instead of using the line, you grow old, right? I don't, which Tennant used, right?
Yeah.
She said it slightly different. Yeah. Basically telling her, listen, it's not going to happen. I'd love it to happen and all, but it's not going to happen.
Congratulations, you've been queer baited.
And he can say it. I don't like using that word, but Lee
I
can
hate
say
that
it.
word, but that's the word it is. And it look, we've been saying this for a while now. Like, either he's going to go full in, or he's going to like tepidly put his foot in and go no.
And that's all he's done. The second one that you've just mentioned.
I mean, unless something happens in the last episode, I think you've all been taken for a ride.
Well, even if something happens, she's gone.
And
It doesn't
After
matter.
the
Yeah,
next
even if they
episode.
do get the kiss at the end, right? Even if they do get the kiss at the end, she's going to regenerate and die, right? But I know these fans inside and out. They will. It doesn't matter how shoddy this plot is, right? If they kiss at the end game, the last episode, that to them will be there. That'll do for them. That's all they need to see to validate this whole relationship. Just like they go around now saying that it needs to be another woman doctor to validate Jodie Whittaker's era, because they know it's bad, but deep down they're lying to themselves. They won't tell themselves that they're lying, but they need that validation. Everything that they've ever done in this fandom is for validation and acceptance and all of that.
Yeah, and
right?
just to say about the whole Tegan and Ace thing. Let's look at Chibnall's track record with past legacy characters. Jack was a glorified cameo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just had exposition. The most he did was tell Jodie's doctor about the Cyberman, and then she didn't listen to him. Kate was nothing in flux.
Yeah.
She appeared to get her house blown up,
Yeah.
and then to tell Jodie's doctor about the Santarans. Are you
She's the bestest ever.
No, but are you picking up a pattern here, folks? He just uses legacy characters to give exposition to the
Prop 'em
doctor.
up, yeah.
That's all
Yeah.
it is, and it's the member berries as well. He knows exactly what he's doing.
So
That's
I
all
can
he's
guarantee
ever done.
Ace and Tegan are not going to do anything of substance. They'll be in it. They'll have their little scenes, but they will not do anything of substance
I
because he
suspect,
hasn't yet.
Yeah.
I suspect we'll see. I have a suspicion we're going to see, because Ace and Tegan are going to be. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see other legacy characters that we haven't.
Listen,
Yeah,
maybe
that-
other doctors or something. You know.
Listen, there's that photograph that I dismissed and I said it was for Big Finish or something of, was it McCoy, McGann, was it Davison, I think, in a photograph, and they were in Wales, right? If those companions are in this episode, the last episode which we've seen, I've got a funny feeling for his centenary, he's going to bring back some of the classic doctors as well. I think it's nailed on now. I think it actually is nailed on.
I'm thinking Ace for Sylvester, and I think he was in that photo.
Yeah.
Tegan was with Peter Davidson.
Davison, yeah.
And he wasn't in that photo, I don't think. I know which one you're referring to. It was Colin Baker.
Oh, it was Colin Baker, yeah. Colin Baker, McGann, wasn't it? Colin Baker, McGann, and Davison.
And Sylvester. So Tegan doesn't quite match any of her doctors.
Yeah, but listen, he's probably very clever, right? We've only seen those two companions. There's probably more gonna join in.
Be careful how you use the word clever. Yeah, because that's not a word that I would generally
associate with Chris Chibnall.
Yeah, but if you think about it, we've technically got a 5 companion story coming up.
Could be something. Look, I'm just gonna say after this episode anyway.
And the return of Vinder! Yay!
This is all I'm gonna say.
Do something this time.
The expectations for the centenary have hit rock bottom. I don't expect that and amazing.
Maybe Vinder is the timeless child father.
But look, we'll watch it. It's in October. We'll watch it because it's the last one.
Yeah, see it die.
But what I'll do is, guys, hang on.
Okay, no.
Thank you. Calm down. Right, let's go around the panel. you've already explained what you thought of the episode, so now I'm just asking this for your rating, and we move to the next person. So, out of 10, I will start with ladies first. Charlotte, what would you give this episode out of 10?
Okay, I'm going to do my usual thing of thinking of the positives and giving a point for each. So, I like some of the shots and the sets, and I sort of class them as the same thing almost. I like some of the background, these sort of side characters. The music was loud at points, but I did appreciate a bit of variation in it. So that's how many? 1, 2, 3. I think that was another thing I said I liked, and I can't think now. Well, no, like I said, this was like an average, alright episode.
Yeah.
So I'm going between 4 and 5 in my head,
Right.
and I'm thinking which ones. But I know I'll give this a 5 because I can't even remember what I gave Eve.
Yeah.
I think I gave Eve less than that, and this was
Right.
better than Eve. So I'll give this a 5 because
Okay.
it wasn't amazing, but it was harmless a bit. It was all right in bits, and like I said, if you gave this story to another doctor, you reworked bits of it, this would be a middling episode. So I'll give this a 5.
No problem. Lee,
Yes.
what would you give it out of 10, mate? And everybody in the chat as well, give your ratings now. I see someone's already put their rating in, so sorry, Lee, you go ahead and I'll just throw up the ratings here.
That's another thing I didn't mention, which again I mentioned during Flux, and you would have thought by now, because we know that Chibnall has said he doesn't listen to a goddamn word anyone says. Well, maybe you should, mate, because your sound recording is fucking awful as well, because I couldn't hear a damn word half the time when that music was blaring and Yaz or somebody was saying, I couldn't hear what they were saying. Not that it would have been, groundbreaking anyway, so I didn't miss anything. But, that is a problem. That is a production problem. I think this is a general thing with the BBC, that they're firing or not hiring proper sound people anymore. They're recording with the mics on the cameras, I believe. And it's not good. And even in post, you should be able to fix that with a bit of ducking, like what's called ducking or gate, where you compress the music when you have the speaking part. So that was shoddy. What will I give out of 10?
Yeah, out of 10.
The whole thing just looked like it was shot inside a studio, as it was. Which just looked really fake. So that takes you out of it. The action was clunky and it was boring. I was bored. Sea Devils were all right, but again, just weird animatronic look about it. It just looked artificial and rubbery. I like the special effects shot underwater, so for that I'll give it a 1.
You're giving it a 1 out of 10. Okay, real Super Doctor.
Well, I'm going to be a little bit generous. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10 because there is stuff in it I do like. I'm a fan of the Sea Devils, and it's just because Jodie Whittaker's performance is as really bad as the Doctor. It kind of really spoils it for me because you have to get into something because you've got to kind of enjoy the characters, and if you don't enjoy the characters, then what's the point in watching it? And what's the point if you can't enjoy it? You have to really get into the episode, and because of all these problems, and because they've been there since kind of day one, nothing's improved. I mean, it's very difficult to kind of get into something like this, and it's just as I said, it isn't Doctor Who. It's just Doctor Who in name only. It's just and even with Tegan and Ace coming back, I don't think these characters will be done any justice. But you never know; they might.
Yeah, we know, John. We know.
Yeah, yeah. 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10, no problem. PD.
Okay, then I completely concur with what problem being said. I know most of the good BBC sound people are in Bristol, not Wales, or following Chibnall around. They are just losing so many good people. They're going everywhere. Literally, BBC News at the moment has lost so many journalists. They are losing people left, right, and centre, and they're not replacing them. So it's a general issue in the BBC. But yeah, onto the episode. I give it on the Chibnall rating 6 poopy poops, but that's only 3 marks in the normal rating.
Right. So yeah, so 6 poopy poops, but a 3 out of 10.
Exactly.
Okay. Fantastic. Yeah, well, a mixed bag there ratings was. You have seen I've thrown up some of the people's ratings there as well. They're quite varied.
And the reason it gets 6, the reason it gets 6 poopy poops is because of that bit at the end of the Phasmin thing where she got cock blocked. That made me.
Well, in fairness, right?
Anyway,
look, I'm just gonna say this, right, and before we head off, because I'm going to be doing a reaction to the trailer, so come and join me for that. But I'll be having something to eat for, so it'll be a bit of a late night one. But come and join me. I won't be on too long. It'll only be a quick reaction, and then I'll talk about it in more detail next week. But also for people that obviously are not on the panel next week we'll be bringing people on that have seen the episode that didn't get a chance to come on. So I know I've been sent a few messages. So I just want to put out there, next week we'll be doing a stream for you guys that want to come on and give your opinions about the latest Chibnall installment. But yeah, what else was I going to say there? What was I saying before I actually sidetracked myself because I'm an idiot? Oh yeah, we're about to finish up. Yeah. I can see. Yeah, you're cracking Daniel up, PD.
good.
But yeah, mixed bag. But look, one episode to go, and this is officially over. So look, it wasn't the worst one, but it did have the usual Chris Chibnall tropes. I'm just glad this is coming to an end now, folks. But here, I've just seen Unknown did send me something on Twitter. I will throw it up later on and give me thoughts on it as well. When I do the reaction video, I will be talking about this. But apparently, I don't know where this comes from. I'll find out off Unknown, or maybe you could tell me in the chat.
Oh, I can tell you because Garbage sent it to me. If this is what I think it is.
Yeah. So I don't know but I don't know if it's actually off an official article or whatever. But if true, it says that there's going to be some sort of announcement in the next couple of weeks.
I can explain only because Garbage, while we've been doing the stream, has been chatting with me. Lizo, I can never say the fella's surname. In an article talking about the old companions coming back. Finish it near the end of the article, and I'll read it out. It says Whittaker, the first woman to play the Doctor, has appeared in 3 series of the sci-fi drama. Her first series in 2008 was one of the most watched ever. Right, but this is the bit that people are looking at. She announced she was quitting the role last summer and that she would be saying goodbye to the character in 3 specials. Her replacement.
You haven't said hello to it. Oh God, sorry.
Her replacement as the Doctor is expected to be revealed in the coming weeks.
So there you go. And in fairness, April, May, June. Look, I did say they'll try to delay it as long as they can, but I think fans are getting restless now. I think RTD might know that. And if there is any official announcement in the next couple of weeks, it will be welcomed. I would like to know who's actually replacing.
Sorry, that article was on the BBC News. Basically, as soon as the episode finished airing, that article went up on the BBC News.
Can someone actually send me that BBC News article in full?
Actually, no, I've got you on Messenger, haven't I?
Yeah.
I can send it to you.
Send it to me, because
I'll send it now.
I will actually react to that and yeah. So we've got 66 people watching right now at the moment. I have to say thank you to everybody that tuned in for the last stream as well. We had over 80 people watching for that one. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, share, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. But if you're a crybaby and you're easily offended, don't bother your ass because, I can't be dealing with you children anymore. But other than that,
interrupt. No, that article was released 1 hour ago.
Right,
Yeah.
it was released 1 hour ago.
And I've
Grand,
sent
so
it to you on Messenger now, so you should
Grand.
have it.
Right, I have it. You might be getting 2 streams later. So bear with me. Busy night. But look, that's the way it is. If the stuff coming out, I have to be on top of it, and that's what I will be. Why do they have to remind us of her being the first female? Because that's
It's the
thing
only
that
thing she has.
it's the only
Yeah,
thing
that's
she
it.
has. That's exactly. It's the only thing she has. But
And
look,
it's the only thing we've had as well.
yeah. But look, it ends in October.
Yes.
It ends in October, and RTD Era 2 starts. And you know what? Look, I am apprehensive. I am a bit nervous. I've seen all of these leaks, and some of it is scary to think that he's just going to start from scratch, right? But I have been saying on the channels what I believe he has to do. Look,
Thanks,
people mightn't like that, right? But if this is the only way for the show to survive, right? And I'm sorry, I've had 5 bad years of Doctor Who. I would like to see a couple of years of decent Doctor Who now. And I think it's not entitlement, right? I think Doctor Who fans have suffered long enough. We suffered through the 80s. We've had to suffer through this now, right? We shouldn't have had to have suffered through those 2 both time periods, to be quite honest.
90.
But this one has been worse. This one has been worse. Not only has this one destroyed the canon of the show, but it's also destroyed the morale of the fandom. I mean, it's become embarrassing to say you're a Doctor Who fan again. Like these fans and Jodie Whittaker fans, you might love it because you feel included and the BBC pander to you and all. But think about the fans that BBC doesn't pander to. You know what I mean? There's a lot of fans out there that for the last 5 years have been utterly distraught at what's happened with this show. And I just want a few years where this show is good again. And if it goes then after that, fine. But I'd rather go out on a high. And I'm glad. And apparently, if the rumour is true, BBC and Gary spoke about this on his channel. And I'm going to say this, right? I believe the rumour that he had was true because he was right about the Timeless Child stuff. But he actually put out a video, if you remember, early last year, I think it was, to say that BBC were canon Doctor Who, right? This rumour actually says that the BBC were actually going to can this show until RTD stepped in with his plan. Right? BBC didn't know what to do with it after the fact. This is how much damage. I don't care what these other fans say, right? You could say it was a successful era, that the female Doctor was successful. But unfortunately, the main people that count is the mainstream audience and the mainstream media. And this has not hit the right notes with the mainstream audience. And that is down to the failure of Chris Chibnall, the decisions that he made, and the writing, the teams that he's brought in was not good enough. And this is the result. And it's gone so bad. It's gone so bad that they were going to shelve that show until RTD stepped in. Right? And I believe Gary's rumour because he was right about the Timeless Child stuff. So kudos to fucking Gary. Because I do believe it was going to happen. Right? RTD steps in, takes over the show. Bang. Doctor Who will save it, and I do believe he will save it. I have confidence, but I am nervous, and because it's gonna be new, it's gonna be something we're either gonna love it or we're gonna hate it. It's as simple as that. It can go either way because while the stories might be great, he might give us a Doctor Who that we're unfamiliar with, and that'll be the hardest thing to transition as a fan. So while I am excited that he's the man that's taken over, I still have that little bit of apprehension. Yeah. Let's see what he does with it. But I'm giving him a chance because he deserves that chance. If he stepped in to save this show, he deserves a chance, guys. He does.
Yeah, and it sounds like we might actually get possibly, but the fact that a BBC article has now said it, it looks like we're going to actually get the Doctor announcement soon.
Listen, and the rumor also mentions that the Doctor is going to be a bloke, a bit like a Matt Smith, or the way Matt Smith's Doctor was originally supposed to be portrayed, or some mad shit like that, or whatever that means. but apparently it's going to be a male doctor. So again, if that is true, I welcome that news, because this is what has to happen. And I'm sorry, you can try validate our doctor all you want, right? Yous love her. That should be enough for yous, right? But yous are angry because the mainstream and fans like us didn't like it. That's not our fault. Blame Chris Chibnall. He should have delivered something better, right? And Jodie Whittaker herself has to take some of the blame, because she should have delivered a better performance, right?
Yeah.
She should have researched the role straight away, not after the fact when it was too late, right? She should have said all the right things and done all the right things when she took over, right? All of this nonsense, not playing the gender and the male gaze and all of this stuff, and then the stylist video mocking fans with the hashtag 13 Doctor, hashtag good riddance. Yeah, we remember all of that stuff. If she had acted differently in that time, even if her performance was bad, she wouldn't have got as much stick as she got. But the fact that she facilitated in all of this, she has to bear some of the responsibility as well. But it ultimately goes down
And the
to Chris
insufferable
Chibnall.
smugness. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
And Chris Chibnall and his boss, Piers Wenger, you just want to hang his our heads in shame.
It'll be
You are lucky
soon
that
anyway.
RTD has come in the last minute to try rescue this, and hopefully he can. But I'm optimistic, but I am a little bit apprehensive, because yeah, we'll just have to see what he gives us. But one more episode, folks, and we did see that regeneration energy, which was that was
Yes!
Lee. I didn't scream, Lee. I didn't scream like
Oh, I
you, but
screamed up.
you'll see me
My neighbours
reaction
must have
when it
thought I was being
happens.
attacked.
I was over the moon, I have to say. I'm going to be celebrating. I'm going to be doing cartwheels, and I can't do cartwheels, but I'm going to practice now. I'm going to be doing cartwheels on the screen.
Yeah, in
she's
the words of Tom
regenerating.
Baker, bye-bye.
And then, do you know what'll happen? No, my look, I'll probably break me neck and never get to see the bleeding RTD era. Anyway,
don't cheer up the stands. Don't cheer them up.
Yeah.
That's it. They'll be celebrating. But
crying,
what we'll
mate.
do is we'll go around the board. You know what to do, guys. Do use our social media shout-outs. And remember, guys, don't know if you have noticed, but I actually figured out how to put the links onto me Discord server and my Twitter account on my YouTube banner. I great. I'm starting to learn all these little things now. It's great. So you subscribe if you haven't already, and join us in October when we do this all over again. And look, it doesn't matter how the episode goes in October. We're all gonna have big smiles on our faces
You got a super chat now.
because we know it's over. But yeah, we'll put this super chat up. Nicholas Horton again with another £5
Thanks, Nicholas.
Thank
super
you.
chat. He gave us one in the last stream as well. Thank you very much.
Very
He
nice.
says, "What happens if RTD soft reboot turns out to be something like that? The CBB show of his from a couple of years back, Wizards versus Aliens."
Oh,
Nah.
No, I don't think it'll be like
They've got
that.
too big a
No.
budget, mate.
No, it won't be like that.
Too much
It won't
resting
be
on
like
it.
that. It just, yeah, exactly. But look, we do need something. The fandom do need some sort of hope. So if there is some sort of announcement in the next couple of weeks, I say bring it on. Bring it on, because we need to start hearing these things now. We need to start seeing things about, the logo, what the TARDIS is going to look like. Oh, man. Oh, I'm seriously, man, even talking about the TARDIS, I'm just super psyched. Come on, Ard, and don't let me down, because I didn't like your TARDIS in your first era. So please do a good one this time. I like the Moffat ones better. Isn't that crazy? I like the RTD's right, and I love right, but Moffat's TARDIS is right. I loved, but didn't like his writing particularly that much. It's weird. But here we go around the board because it's 10:10. I don't know,
and you still got to do your poll. You got to give your poll.
Yeah, I will. I'll do that as well. But we let Charlotte, because we are running. Charlotte is running out of time. So Charlotte, go ahead.
Yeah, so to see me on YouTube, I do a lot of streams with Daniel on Daniel Leeches, and he just did one, if you like wrestling, with Sean from the Nerdaholic. So that's the latest stream with Daniel. And Type 40 were on sort of a mini break with the live shows, but you'll probably still see me do some reviews because I am part of the TV club, and we're probably going to be due to reviewing some of these specials soon. So you'll see me and hear me is what I meant to say on the Spacebook, and obviously on the Tardis Zone for watch-alongs and the rest of this lovely era.
When they bloody happen.
Yes. So good night, everybody.
Night, Charlotte.
Night, Charlotte.
Night.
Night, Charlotte. Real Super Doctor, you just go ahead. I'm getting this poll sorted, but yeah, go ahead, Real Super Doctor.
I've got a channel on YouTube under Real Super Doctor, and I have Twitter under Real Super Doctor.
Fantastic. We'll go with Lee next.
Yes, it's my shitting birthday on Thursday, and yeah, it's scary. But if you want to help with my 50% lifetime life spending increase that is going on, I've now got a PayPal on my channel, which is Ordred Audio Visual. I am also accepting commissions if you're looking for some computer generated imagery for your channels or music videos or whatnot. So anything you want, I can do it. Music, sound, visuals, etc. You can do that. Also accepting donations. If you go to my YouTube channel, Ordred Audio Visual, if you go to the About section, there's a PayPal link if you want to help me out there. Give me a birthday present. That'd be lovely. I'm begging. Well, I'm not begging. You can give me money or not. I don't give a shit. But that'd be nice. Be nice. Be lovely.
Fantastic.
And that's
right.
it.
Is that it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We've got 80 votes in the poll. The poll's complete. I asked, did Legend of the Sea Devils deliver? 86% of you have said no, and 13% of you have said yes. Now that's a higher percentage yes than I was about, but I did actually quite enjoy this one a lot better than I enjoyed the whole of Flux. So I mean, 13% is not bad. I mean, the fact that 13% of people actually liked it is, and I liked some parts of it, is kind of a miracle. But there you go. Anyway, that's the poll result. Thank you everybody that did vote. I really appreciate it. And of course, when the next episode rolls around, we will do the same thing again. But we got PD now to go. So
Yeah.
PD.
You'll find me on Rabbi's stream when I know what's happening, because I'm so out of it at the moment. I'm spending 2 weeks back in theatre. So I'll be following Rabbi again in his chat, and I might be back on Dave Travels Through Time soon as well, and also go subscribe to Jack Main's channel. There you go.
Fantastic.
Everything's in the chat.
Fantastic. Yeah, I spoke to him on Discord briefly.
How is he?
Yeah, he wasn't too bad. I was trying to figure out how to do watch-alongs on Discord. I did get it set up. I know how to set it up, but unfortunately, because my computer my Chromebook is very crap, the picture kept jumping. But I do know how to do it. So yeah, there we go. So yeah, obviously, guys, you know where to find me here on the Irish Geek, on Discord and on Twitter. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. As I said, we don't pussyfoot around opinions on this channel. We say it as we see it. Of course, they are our own opinions. And of course, people out there do have different opinions. That's what makes us all unique. Just remember that, folks, you know. But I didn't see that little troll after I gave out to them anyway. Like, listen, you know what I mean?
Welcome to opinion. That's it.
At the end of the day, if you think this is a nonsense stream, that's fine. Fair enough. But there'll be a lot of people out there that will watch the stream that won't find it nonsense.
Well, we don't cater to people who are bigoted, closed-minded, boring dullards who accept any old rubbish.
We don't suffer fools gladly here, pretty much.
Sorry about that.
Right, anyway, who gives a crap? Who gives a crap what happens in the next episode? But we will be here to watch it. Hopefully there are some announcements, as that the article said. So BBC are obviously putting out there because it comes from an official BBC news site. So the fact that they're throwing it out there, there's something coming, folks. Something coming, something to get excited for. And someone did mention in the chat earlier on, the FA Cup final is soon. And BBC always, when they make an announcement, traditionally do it on a day where they know millions of people are going to be watching, and millions of people will be watching the FA Cup final. So look out for that, because that would probably that'd be the time that would make more sense to me if they were going to do it. Would be the FA Cup final. We'll see. But I want to thank all my panelists. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. And I want to thank everybody that joined me for both streams today. And as I said, I'll be back a little bit later on once I get my chicken burgers into me and read that article and stuff. And we're going to do a reaction to the trailer and stuff like that. So we'll be still around for a couple of more hours. But come and join me if you can. Obviously, if you can't, good night. And get a good night's rest. And you can watch them tomorrow. Yay. That's why YouTube is great. Well, it's not really, but there you go. Anyway, I'm going to go. Say goodnight to you all. Thank you for watching. We will see you very soon. Just feels a little bit flat actually now, doesn't it? Because yeah. Anyway, there we go. Good night, folks. Have a good one. Say good night, panel.
Night.
Good night, panel.
Good night, Lee.
Good night, John Boy.
Good night, Real Super Doctor.
Good night.
Good night, PD Rich.
Nah.
And you guys in the chat, it's time to feck off now. I'll see you later. Bye.
Goodbye.
Yeah.